This is the last breakfast I'll ever make for you, Wes Sterling.
Hey!
What? And you thought television was dramatic. Just wait till you get onto TikTok. Mainstream media's recycling bin. Now, I don't have cable and honestly don't think I've watched cable since like I was a child, but I think TikTok is basically fully replacing it now. Because to the best of my knowledge, the only thing left on cable is like soap operas and telenovelas. And now we've got our own soap operas right here on the Clock app. Days of Our Lives, I'm pretty sure has been running since like the 60s. But the children and grandchildren of parents who grew up watching Days of Our Lives can tell a good story when we see one. Now, where I found this story was an account called Real Shorts app. Soap operas are not only coming to the internet, but they're coming specifically to Instagram Reels. However, I am not here to advertise the app because everything on there is paywall. And I am still going to give you a comprehensive rundown of the story, don't you worry. I am, however, going to tell you bits and pieces of the story that I find for free through TikTok and Instagram. So let's go. Alfonso, I'm pregnant with you and Master Raul's baby. You must pay to continue the story or view 32 hours worth of ads for busty single moms in your area. The name of this story is The Double Life of a Billionaire Heiress. And I feel pretty strongly that these were written by AI. To be honest, I might be hoping that they're actually written by AI. So once they have the AI write the script, they get a bunch of actors who I actually think are pretty good. I think it takes talent to act this poorly. Actual bad actors don't act poorly. They just act poorly. Do you know what I mean? And these stories are obviously always incredibly dramatic. There's music here that I'm removing for copyright, but we're dancing and we're having a good time, making breakfast. We get a little montage of Wes Sterling coming in. Definitely was the jock in high school. He has the energy of like, my dad gave me my job. But as soon as he enters, he immediately becomes the worst.
Do you remember what today is?
Yeah, going after dinner.
Going where?
Pick up Eve from the hospital and drop her off at home.
We don't skip a beat. We immediately sit and start having dinner. I don't even think he took his shoes off. And our girl, what's her name? Katrina? Kiana? Komodo? Kamala? Kira. Kira asks if he remembers what day it is. Hey, just wondering if you remembered what day it was. It's a special day for me. It marks the day that I, entered the world. But no hints, no hints. I hope you remember. And he says, yes, I'm gonna go pick up Eve at the hospital. Who is Eve?
But it's our 3-year anniversary.
Turns out Mr. West Side has forgot about the anniversary. All right, so our boy Wes is about to leave to see Eve. And Kira reminds him like, hey bro, we've been married for 3 years today. And he just says, I'll just Venmo you some money.
It's our 3-year anniversary today. What's this?
Money. The only thing you ever wanted from me.
And stupid Kira, instead of just saying, okay, King, thank you, starts to argue. But it seems like for some reason, he believes that Kira is, she take my money, girl power. It doesn't really explain, though, why Wes feels this way. It just seems to be something that is happening.
And I also know that you've been cheating on me. You with Micah.
Intimate with a mysterious woman.
It's Kira.
Oh, did she cheat? I can't lie. So far, Kira is giving Tashi Duncan. But I support women's rights and wrongs. And I love seeing women in STEM. But it's seeming like she might have cheated on him with some dude named Micah in the most bold way that you could cheat on a person, because it seems like she cheated with someone who is well known enough to be on TV being followed with paparazzi. And if that is true, I'm team Wes right now, because that is so disrespectful. So I'm getting the impression at this point in the story that Wes feels like she's only staying with him for the money while she's out and about cheating. However, I'm pretty sure Micah, the person who she's cheating with, seems to also be wealthy, so it doesn't still make any sense.
Eve was right about you. You've never been honest with me. You know that Eve is like a sister to me. Her father died saving my life. And you? Until you're ready to be honest with me, I don't want to spend another second here.
Okay, so Eve's dad saved his life, so now he's forever indebted to Eve. It feels like a big price to pay to become someone's full-time caretaker because their dad helped you once. Hey, I'm trying to park, but I can't really see. Could you tell me how close I am to the curb? Sure, but after this, you're gonna be forever indebted to my son, and you have to take care of him for the rest of his life.
Wes is right. I am hiding something from him. See, he thinks that he's the one that provided me with this fairy tale lifestyle, but he's wrong.
Turns out she has been lying, but I guess not just about the Micah thing, but that she's poor? Did an AI write this, or did a classist, the most confused classist of all time? Is this trying to make a confusing statement about class? Is this Saltburn? I am just so confused. Why would you lie about this? Because usually when you see this kind of trope of like not telling people that you are wealthy, it's usually a wealthy person who's not telling someone that they are rich to make sure that they are not being used for their money. But based on my understanding of this story so far, Wes is also rich. So what exactly is her incentive to hide her wealth? And ironically, now Wes thinks he's being used for money. Girl, if you are rich, tell him so that he doesn't think you're using him for money anymore and save your marriage. So Kira makes a plan to go see Micah.
Micah?
Do you know what time it is?
I know that it's late, but I need it. I need it now.
Fine. I'll come get you.
And Wes goes to see Eve, who is pulling every stop in the book.
Oh, hey, I got you, okay?
She's thirsting for Wesley hard. It's also never made clear what is wrong with her because she looks perfectly fine. He just said that her temperature was high. So she has a flu? You had to come all the way over here to take care of her for a flu? Why was she in the hospital? What did you even come to do? You put your hand on her forehead for 1 second and felt that it was warm, and that's it. You didn't bring anything. You didn't come with medicine, soup, nothing. Why are you here?
Wes, I feel so much better when you're here. Stay for one drink. Please.
Girl, I thought you were sick. So Eve asks him to stay for a drink and then does the most insane thing I've ever seen. She drugs him until he passes out. Someone get Wes help, because I'm actually so worried for the safety and well-being of Wes in this whole story.
I feel like I'm getting booty called.
That's actually disgusting. Please never, ever say that again.
Here, baby sis.
So after Kira comes back from her
Booty call.
with Micah, we find out that they are siblings. That's right. This weirdly sexual energy and dynamic that they have is meant to be familial.
All right, let's go max out my credit card and forget about your asshole of a husband.
That's the one thing I've been hiding from Wes ever since we met.
Anyways, they go shopping to get her mind off of everything that's going on. And once they're back from their date, I mean familial hangout, she gets a text from Eve saying that Wesley spent the night because he accidentally fell asleep. Kira girl, I'm gonna need you to take that little message to the police because your man's is in trouble. Then Westside gets up, does not go to the police station, but instead gets a gift to go home so that he can apologize to Kira. And she says, boy, I'm done with the apologies. I'm taking you to divorce court. Now they're arguing back and forth about it, and for some reason, Wes keeps hammering home the point that if she leaves, she's gonna be broke.
This is the last breakfast I'll ever make for you, Wes Sterling.
What?
I want a divorce.
And I find it interesting that he doesn't hear what he's saying, because essentially what Wes is saying is that you'd rather be homeless and broke than stay with me. How does that sound like a gold digger to you? Isn't that antithetical to what gold digging is? If she only cared about your money, Wesley, she would stay. Think, Wesley, turn it on. And this is not anti-gold digger rhetoric. I'm just saying she doesn't fit the criteria.
Hey.
You bitch. Wes lets his mom hit Kira and doesn't do a thing. West Side, do something. Girl, if you don't get in the ring with her. Anyways, while she's leaving, she gets picked up in a big blacked out SUV. Something that a poor person usually doesn't ride in. And obviously everyone's super confused because how does your broke friend who hasn't paid you back in 5 years order an Uber Black? Not only that, she gets into the SUV with Micah. She's leaving with Micah, who Wes still thinks is her boyfriend. How do you marry a person and never meet their family? Don't they have the same last name? Does he not know her maiden name? How much has she been lying about? See, this is why I've been Team West for this whole story so far. Because even though he's acting awful, his partner has seemingly been lying to him for the last 3 years about things that I cannot fathom why anybody would lie to anybody about. I honestly think Wes might be dodging a bullet here, but he is in line with another one who is Eve, but that's on him. Then in like a really weird scene that happens afterwards, Kira, Micah, Eve and Wesley are shopping for dresses and they run into each other at the same store.
She can barely afford to look at these dresses, let alone buy one.
Okay, over here.
Oh, of course you two are together.
You best believe she can afford any dress she wants.
And then I think Wes ends up buying the dress for her. Okay, so I only just fully made sense of this part while I was editing. Kira asks to try on the dress that Eve is wearing, and then Wesley buys the dress that Eve was wearing for Kira. Really simple, really clear, really concise. Now, the story here starts to get severely disjointed because it just feels like they just continuously keep running into each other at parties and just not having a normal adult conversation about what's going on. A big point of contention for me is how Kira acts so righteous in this story. I feel like she acts like she's right throughout the whole thing, and she is the weirdo here, 100%.
Party! You must be so proud. I know I am. Thanks for bringing me as your date.
So it turns out Miss Girl is rich because she is the CEO of the company. She's been appointed. And she used her power to get her husband his current job. Me again to explain things better after the fact than I did in the video. The TLDR is that her dad is really rich. Her dad owns a company, so she by default is very wealthy, and she used her pull to get Wes a job at that company. That's it. So she's the reason that Wes is also wealthy and successful. And she's, I guess, been waiting for the right time to tell him all this. And the right time was going to be their 3rd anniversary dinner. Instead of just telling him this, she kind of punishes him for not being patient, I guess, to wait to find this out. I'm also like confused about the timeline of this story because it feels like about a week has passed. So I did a lot of deep diving to find out how this story ends, and it ends kind of exactly how you would imagine that it would end. The TLDR. Her dad wanted her to marry someone else for the business, so she married Wes out of love, but didn't tell him because she didn't want him to carry the burden of knowing that she had an option. Eve is obviously pretty heartbroken about this because she loves Wesley more than anything in the world. She gets so intense about this, she tries to our girl Kira, but of course Wesley saves her in a way that is confusing to me because Eve basically poisoned her wine and Wes drank it. But I think he could have also just not drank the wine. But at the end of the day, she ends up telling him everything. He ends up completely forgiving her, and then they remarry in a beautiful ceremony. Either way, I think the premise is weird. It's just the most roundabout way of having a normal adult conversation. It's like those stories that rely way too heavily on people just not talking like normal people, and if they did, all the conflict would be resolved. I still don't quite get why Kira couldn't have just said all this to Wes a long time ago, especially allowing her marriage to completely break down because of it. So what was the point of this video and what is the wrap up? Joe Goldberg was onto something. Unnecessarily lying and meddling in the lives of strangers is the right way to go about finding love. And that, my friends, is the video. Thank you so much for watching. Me and the most romantic crowd you've ever seen are very grateful that you watched. I'm very curious about how any of you feel about the Instagram Reels / TikTok soap operas. And if you like them, if you hate them, let me know. If you've watched any good ones that are genuinely like worth the time and the money. And if you've made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.